September 5th is the full reveal of WRC 23. We've been waiting for this for I don't know how long. Years. And we finally got something. This is about as tease as it gets. If these particle effects are an example of what's in the game and not pre-rendered for like the intro or something like that, I'm extremely impressed. I'm going to start off with that. The foliage on the side there, I'm not too impressed with. It looks a little bit static. I know it's moving. You can actually see it's moving at the very end of this little clip here. But it's moving in a way that seems exaggerated, and right under the R where the fade starts to happen, you can see the foliage right there is floating. This is a common issue, and it, in my opinion, is something that kind of takes me out of the realism. Now, when you're at speed, you're in the cockpit, it really doesn't matter, but things like this kind of remind me that I'm not looking at real footage. And it's not something that I even need to see. I don't need to focus on that to kind of feel something is off. And I don't know if it's just because my brain is programmed from 35 years of living in real life to notice, pick up on that kind of stuff immediately. I don't know if that's what it is, or if I'm just very hypercritical of visuals. But overall, the colors look nice. I feel like there is a filter on here that could be taken off. Hopefully, it seems a little bit glossy, glamoury, like there's a sort of a summer filter on here, and I don't like that. I want to see it like someone's phone would see it. If I'm looking at footage of a replay, I want to see it through someone's phone. I want to see it through a camera. I don't want to see it like all pre-edited, because that takes me out of the rawness of the moment, right? Like I want to see the footage like I was there. Now, I mean, that being said, we're not going to see the car transform right in front of us, like Transformers. I am Optimus Anti-Lag. I want to also touch upon the sound. If this is the sound design, I'm partially impressed and I'm partially disappointed. It does seem a little bit artificial. Let me play you the real sound right here. Now look at the dirt. There is a lot of compression in this video. You can see that, it's kind of warbly and it won't look that soft in game. But you can see the detail of the surface of the road here, geometry or whatever you want to call it. It's very good. You can see like all these little raises in the road here. I don't know if it's like a random thing or they're actually laser scanning. I don't know. But it seems like it's a very detailed road surface, and you can really see the suspension working. Now, one thing I don't notice is any deformation of the dirt after the car passes. I don't know if this is like a pre-alpha build and there's still like a year out. Obviously it's WRC 23, but you never know with, all these delays, right? No deformation, which is kind of a bit disheartening because this is a next generation only title. So how is it that the tires doesn't affect the surface after it's gone by? If you look at the road textures, though, they do appear like they're going to be very detailed. And even if you like slow down and zoom in on stuff, it's going to look pretty decent. You can see that there are little weird rock textures in the road, and I'm not really sure why they're not using kind of a tessellation or something like that to kind of bring out those rocks. I'm no coder. I'm not like a game designer guru or whatever, but I know that you can take a texture and you can tessellate it. I'm not talking about the bumps in the road. I'm talking about the actual textures of the dirt and the rocks. And I know it's inevitable that they're going to have, certain parts of the courses, the stages that have rocks, like physical rocks that you can actually interact with. But, those little rocks in the road, if you slide by it like that, they'd get kicked out sometimes, right? And that would be so cool to see that. Instead of a dirt plume, I also would like to see chunks of rock and chunks of, just larger debris that's being kicked up by the tires as well, because that does happen in real life. It's not just dust. So I do commend them for really upping the game there on the dust particles. But if they don't include the big chunks that get kicked out too, especially when you're cornering as aggressively as these cars do, it's a bit disappointing. If this included last gen, I wouldn't be so picky about this kind of stuff, but if this is an actual representation of the game, and, you know, these are the actual physics, these are the particles, I think they could be better. And they do have some time to kind of implement that, but I think it's probably too late. It's probably too late. I'm almost guaranteeing that the game is right around the corner from release after this announcement. I think it's probably going to be, you know, coming within a month of this announcement. You know, they're just going to do like little patchwork here and there, little extra polish. So the car model itself, it does have a little bit of that small car look. And I think this is just inherent of video games. The scale of things isn't quite right, so your eyes pick up on it, your brain picks up on it, and it just looks smaller than what it is. And it doesn't help that you're looking through a small window. You're looking through a screen, or you're looking through, you know, even VR, like and it still wouldn't look quite right. This could be just because whatever effects they're using on the footage, maybe they're using some kind of background blurring effect to make it look like it's a camera lens. I don't know. It looks like the car is a bit small. Here's another thing I hope for, just separate from this reveal here. I hope the FOV settings this time are actually detailed enough to where you can get it to where you need to get it for your monitor setup and not have to make compromises. And triple screen support. VR support on launch would be awesome, but I don't expect it. But look at the backgrounds here. It looks like real world terrain. It doesn't look like some fantasy land. It doesn't look like a comic book strip. It looks like this could exist in the real world. Foliage aside, you know, I really think that there should be one guy that goes through every single course and makes sure that the vegetation is planted in the dirt. I think that's important. When people look back on this game 20 years from now, they're going to be like, oh, a lot of games had this weird graphical error with the foliage where, you know, there's like weird plants just floating, you know. I don't know why they can't figure out a way to program the game to where that doesn't happen ever. But if it did, make it to where it's like, you know, 20 feet off of the main course. I know I'm kind of like harping on this and I'm just kind of focusing on this one little detail, but it's really bothering me. And those little things just like, they rip me out of the world. You know, I want full immersion and textures and floating plants. That rips me out. Or like invisible walls. I hate that. And I don't want to see any resets without me requesting a reset. I'm talking about when you go off a course. If you go off the course and you're in the middle of the wilderness, I don't want to reset. I want to find my way back to the course. Or if you flip the car and there's no one around, I want there to be no option to reset unless you can flip it over by yourself realistically. This is a simulation game. This is the official WRC rally game, right? I want this to be a simulation. I want this to actually represent the sport as well as possible. I don't want any unrealistic resets. Have that option. Have arcade mode. I want arcade mode and simulation mode. Arcade mode for people that just want to enjoy the game. They want to just have fun going through the career. And simulation mode for the people that want to take it a step further and really invest some time in this. I just wanted to make this quick little video because I'm excited about it. And in case you didn't hear, you're hearing it here first. This video teaser released, I think, yesterday. And yeah, I hope I'm in time for the reveal. But if I don't get home in time, I do probably want to live stream my reaction. If you're interested in my thoughts and if you're interested in my input, you know, my rally expertise, you know, I do consider myself a rally aficionado. I have some authority, some weight in rally because I've invested so much of my time into rally. I do think I have a say in this. And if you're interested in that say, tune back in September 5th. Hopefully I'm going to be live streaming on YouTube and TikTok. And I'll do an actual video breakdown probably later of the full reveal if I'm not satisfied with my initial thoughts and my initial statements. So stay tuned for that. Have a good day. Thank you all for watching, and I hope to see you in a future video.